Welcome to another video from Gradelink websites. In this tutorial, we're going to go through the process of actually setting up an automated import or synchronization with Google Calendar, with the website calendar. So all Gradelink websites come with a calendar, and you can set it up to sync with your Google Calendar or other type of calendar. So the first step is to head over to your dashboard after logging in. And we're going to actually take a look at the settings first, because one of the critical things here, we need to make sure that we have a license for the event aggregator. So this website already has one put in. If you see this field here for event aggregator, the license key is blank, please reach out to Gradelink website support and we will add an event aggregator license for you to your site. So that being said, the first step is to, under events, go to import. And we're given this interface here, import origin. If you click on the drop down, you'll have several options to choose from. You can import from a CSV file. That's just a one-time import. You can sync with Eventbrite. You can do Google Calendar, iCalendar, an ICS file, Meetup, or another URL. The Google Sync with Google Calendar, all of these are one-way syncs. The Google Calendar can actually be set up as a recurring import. So if we select Google Calendar, we'll just want to give it a name. So you can say this is the school calendar. And import type, you could do a one-time import, but if you wanted to sync, you set up a scheduled import. And you have several options here. Now, keep in mind, on demand is just going to be when you trigger it manually. So if you want it to automatically sync, you have the options of every 30 minutes, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. If you do every 30 minutes, that actually has a huge amount of load on the server. So we do not recommend doing this, because if you set this up and it overloads the server, it may crash the website, and we at Gradelink won't have any way to get your server back up because you used up all your server resources. The only way would be to pay a large amount of money to get the server upgraded with more resources. But even then, this would very quickly use all the resources. So please don't use every 30 minutes for the import on the calendar. Even though it's available, we recommend don't use that because it can and will cause problems. The one we do recommend is daily. If you can, set up a daily import. After you save it, you will be able to set a time and date, or a time and a day of the week that you can set up the sync for. So if you typically add things to the Google Calendar in the morning at 7 a.m. and you wanted to sync after that, you could set up the sync to go 8 a.m. every single morning, daily. You can do hourly, but again, that does take a lot of resources on the server side, so you don't want to run the risk of crashing your website just because you're having it check so frequently for new calendar events on the Google side. That being said, we recommend daily. So schedule to import daily. Then the URL, you're going to get an ICS URL from Google. And we have a separate tutorial video that goes through the exact steps to get an ICS URL from Google. So if you're not familiar with that, reach out to Gradelink website support or access our tutorial library and you should be able to find that. Once you have the URL, you can paste that in. And do make sure that that ICS URL is on a calendar that is public. You don't want it to see only busy event, because then it's really only going to show busy/free events on your calendar without any title, and that's not helpful at all. You can, if you want to, refine the types of events you want to sync using keywords or dates, like the starting date, location, etc. You can also set a location radius if that's applicable. Most of the time we just leave the refining fields blank. Next we're going to click on preview, and in this case it didn't generate a preview because the ICS calendar thing that I put in is not for a valid calendar, but it will typically, if you have the ICS calendar from a publicly shared calendar, then it should show preview results and then you'll be able to save it. So I've taken a different ICS calendar and that is publicly shared, and you can see that now it's actually the generic Google holiday calendar that I put in there. So I took the ICS link from there, put it in there, click preview, and we can see there's all the entries right there. Now one thing you might want to do is, prior to setting up your import, you may want to go to event categories, not to venue categories or organizer categories, but over here, event categories. And you may want to set up a school calendar event, or if you are syncing an athletics calendar, call it athletics calendar. And you can just click add new event category. And then what you can do is set the status to publish, because obviously the events that you want to sync from Google, you want them to be published. And then the category, you can select that school calendar. If you have multiple calendars synced up to this particular calendar, the school calendar, for example, or athletics calendar, then you want to select it a category. For time zone options, you have these. We don't typically change those, and then you can just click Save Scheduled Import. And once that happens, it will import the events. You'll see a loading bar. It will import the events, and it'll publish them to the calendar so that they're visible on your calendar. You can then manually edit events that are listed here that have been imported from Google. Now, if you delete an event from Google Calendar, it will wait until the next synchronization cycle to delete it on the website. And if that deletion doesn't work, because sometimes events on the website may somehow get disconnected from the Google event, then you can go into events and manually trash or edit those particular events. So the way it works is the Google event gets synced over to and imported up automatically onto the website, and then you can manage those events on the website. If you make a change on the Google Calendar, it will sync the changes to the events on the website as long as it's corresponding to the same event. So hopefully this helps in terms of how to set up the Google Calendar sync with your website. Please make sure to also reference how to get the ICS link from Google Calendar, as we have a video for that as well. Thank you.